what to consider when it comes to choosing the best investment platform for your situation. In this video, we're going to be running through the key considerations that you need to take into account when choosing what investment platform or broker or provider to use. There are a number of key things we need to think about, and in this video, I'm going to be running through each one in detail. And hopefully, ultimately, it can help you choose what is the best investment platform for your personal situation and circumstances.
Relax and take notes.
But before we get into all the content, welcome back to another video, Making Money Simple. My name is Ryan, weekly videos here to do with investing and personal finance. Loads of resources in the description, including a 1-hour workshop on how you can get started with investing. But this video, we're going to be talking about how to choose a broker. It's an important decision, but before I get into the key considerations, the first thing to note is choosing a broker, it's not like getting into a mortgage. You're not locked in. You can change accounts fairly easily. It could take a few weeks. There's a bit of admin and hassle to do, but realistically, if you choose a platform or you're on a platform you currently don't like, you can open up an account with another platform. It's not too much pain. And another thing to mention here right at the start is you can have accounts with multiple platforms. I myself have my stocks and shares ISA with Vanguard, but I also have accounts with Hargreaves Lansdown, Free Trade, Trading 212, Stake. So you can have more than one account, but of course, particularly when it comes to choosing your tax advantage accounts, so your stocks and shares ISA and your lifetime ISA, they are the key ones where you want to choose the best platform or the best provider for your specific circumstances and situation. So without further ado, let's get into the first thing to consider, and this is quite obvious in saying, but what you want to invest into. Whenever someone asks me about what broker should I use, the thing I always say to them is start with the end in mind.
A bit of a weird analogy.
Everybody knew exactly what I was talking about.
Not trying to be too philosophical, but you need to think about what you want to invest into. There's generally 3 buckets of things you can invest into: index funds, ETFs, and individual stocks. Some providers offer all 3, some providers only offer 1 or 2. So you need to almost think about what you want to invest into and then work backwards and see which platform offers what you want to invest into. As a couple of examples, Vanguard only offer Vanguard index funds and ETFs. So if you want to invest into individual stocks, Vanguard is no good for you. On the other hand, Trading 212, for example, they offer stocks and ETFs. So if you want to invest into index funds, then Trading 212 is no good for you. So you really need to think about what you want to invest into and then work backwards and see which providers or platforms offer the investments that you ultimately want to put your money into. So start with the end in mind is the first thing to consider. The second thing, a very important consideration, is fees. As you're probably already aware, paying too much in fees can completely erode the returns you will get over the long term. If you pay even just 1 or 2% more in fees, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you compound that over the long term, you can literally lose tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds over the long term, which is why it's so important to use a low fee platform. Now, when it comes to fees, it's a bit of a minefield. It can be quite hard to find out what fees different platforms charge, but generally speaking, you're going to have some sort of account fee. So for example, Vanguard is 0.15%, Hargreaves Lansdown is 0.45%. There are then some brokers like Trading 212 and Free Trade, which is 0 commission, so there's a 0% account fee. But then there are other fees to take into consideration. The funds you want to invest into will carry a fee. If you're buying UK shares, for example, there'll be stamp duty. If you're buying US shares, there's likely to be some sort of FX fee. There's also likely to be some sort of spreads between the buy price and the sell price that you would incur. So there's a lot of fees to consider. Generally speaking, my rule of thumb is if the fees for a platform are quite hard to figure out, that's an instant red flag. Why I love Vanguard is all of their fees are completely transparent. Free Trade as well, it's also quite easy to find out their fees. They charge £3 for their ISA, for example, and also have some sort of plus feature. But as a rule of thumb, if you're struggling to find out what the fees are, that's an instant red flag. But once again, before you actually choose a platform and start investing on the platform, you want to understand what fees you will incur. Ultimately, the lower the fee, the more money is compounding for us over the long term, and the more money is in our pocket in the end.
Hello, I like money.
The third thing to consider is the type of account you need. So by type of account, I'm talking about a stocks and shares ISA, a lifetime ISA, a SIP. You need to also think about what type of account you need, and that can then help hopefully push you in the direction in the correct platform for you. Using some more examples, Hargreaves Lansdown, they offer a stocks and shares ISA, a stocks and shares lifetime ISA, and a SIP. On the other hand, Vanguard only offer a stocks and shares ISA and a SIP. So that's one less type of account. Camera just cut off then, but we're back. What I was saying was, once again, it requires a bit of research from you. You're going to need to see what type of accounts you need and what type of accounts you may need in the future, and then that will hopefully help guide you to the correct platform for yourself. For example, if you just Google, has Vanguard got a SIP? You'll see if Vanguard has a SIP. Has Freetrade got a lifetime ISA? You'll find out quickly that they haven't. So once again, requires a bit of research, but the third type of account, and make sure you're choosing platforms which have the type of accounts that you need. The fourth thing then to consider is reputation, size, credibility. Essentially, do you trust the platform? If this investment platform or provider or broker is going to be housing, hopefully one day, your £1 million plus stock market portfolio
to the moon,
then you ultimately need to trust them. You want to make sure they have a good reputation and you can trust them with holding your money over the long term. Just obviously plug Vanguard again, which is who I use my stocks and shares ISA. They are the second largest asset manager in the world. They have $6 or $7 trillion under management, so it's really as large as they come, and trust is one big reason why I use them. The fifth thing to consider, and the final thing then, is this sort of MISC or other bucket, and this is things such as automatic investing, pies, dividend investment. I've also got written down here fractional shares. So these are extra sort of add-ons that can make a platform better for your personal situation. So the first one I mentioned is dividend reinvestment. So dividend reinvestment plan, or DRIP, is where any dividends you get paid get automatically reinvested. Some platforms offer this, some don't. Generally speaking, I like everything being automated and manual, so choosing the platform where I can automatically reinvest my dividends is most beneficial for me, which then leads quite nicely onto the second sort of sub point of this point number 5, the MISC bucket, is automatic investing. On Vanguard, on Hargreaves Lansdown, there are two platforms I have accounts with. I can set up automatic investments, so money is taken automatically from my bank account every month on a specific date without me doing anything.
hey, that's pretty good.
I'm a big fan of automation, so I want the platform I use to be automated. However, I know that some people prefer making manual investments, so if that's you, then obviously that point isn't going to be as big of a factor for you. Pies I touched on, that's specific to trading 2-on-2, but that's a very interesting thing where you can essentially choose 5 different stocks, put them in the pie, and then automatically invest into that pie every single week or month. And this is innovative. This is a great addition, a great feature from trading 2-on-2. I don't personally use it because I don't invest into individual stocks really. They make up about 3% of my portfolio, but I can see why people who like investing into multiple individual stocks can use this pie feature and essentially create their own ETF that they can invest into every single month. So that's a pretty cool feature. And the last one here is fractional shares. Trading 2-on-2, continuing on with them as an example, they offer fractional shares in quite a few of their ETFs, whereas Freetrade don't offer fractional shares. So what that means is, if there's a share in an ETF, for example, the VUSA, the S&P 500 ETF, if it's trading at £70 as an example, if a platform offers fractional shares, you can buy half a unit for £35. So you have smaller sums of money, and maybe you're starting out of a small amount and you only want to drip feed in maybe £10-20 a week or a month. Having fractional shares will be a really key feature for you, because it means you don't need to save up £70 and then buy one whole share, which is what you need to do on some platforms. So that is a whistle-stop tour of everything you need to consider when it comes to choosing a platform. I want to reiterate, if you do choose the wrong platform, or you're not happy with the current platform you're on, you can open up new accounts on other platforms. Of course, you can only pay into one stocks and shares ISA in each tax year, but if you're not happy with your current provider, you can initiate a switch. It's a bit of admin and hassle, as I mentioned at the start of the video, but you're not locked in like a mortgage. You can still switch platforms and open platforms, so don't stress too much. And yeah, that is on my list of everything to consider that I've ran through when it comes to choosing a broker. So to run through it again, start with the end in mind, do some research, think about what you want to invest into. Fees is a massive one. The lower fees you pay, the more money you can keep in your pocket. Type of account that you need: ISA, LISA, SIP. Reputation, size, trust, credibility, all that sort of stuff. Do you trust the platform you're investing in? And in point 5, we touched on some smaller bits there, like fractional shares, pies, dividend reinvestment, and automatic investing. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you do have any questions on this, let me know and I can try and help out in the comments. Other than that, also let me know in the comments what platforms you personally use. As I mentioned, I have a range of platforms, but I have my stocks and shares ISA with Vanguard, and that is primarily where most of my money is held. So let me know what platform you use, and I will see you in the next video.